Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about releasing your past, letting go of your past, and I'm going to give you some exercises, maybe one or two, to help you completely let go of the past. As we live our lives, we are born and then things happen in our childhood. We all have our goodie bags of trauma that we hold on to, and those things get stuck into our psyche. Our brain kind of holds on to these things. And sometimes they even get stuck in our nervous system and the way that we interface with the world. And most of us have these paradigms that are then formed. We've got lenses that we're seeing the world through. We're seeing other people through these lenses, and we're seeing the world through these lenses. The good thing is, it can take just an instant, just a moment, just a snap of the finger to let all of it go. You are already free of the past. You are, in fact, already completely and wholly free of the past. And so that is the premise of today's session, of today's episode. You are already completely and wholly free of the past. I know that there are things that have happened to all of us that are atrocious and unfortunate and terrible and painful, and there's a long list of things that human beings, we have this thing called life, and life is kind of laced with some booby traps sometimes. However, we also, all of us universally, have something called complete and total freedom, period. And that is baked into the fact that we are always and forever given this present eternal now. There is nothing that exists outside of now. There is nothing that exists outside of now. There is nothing that exists outside of now. So you are already and always free of the past. If you really sit with it and you really let that in, it changes everything for you. There's nothing that in your life that won't change if you really let that in. You are untouched by the past. You're untouched by the future. You're letting go of the past. It's just a hair's breadth away. This is anything that you believe is a reason for you to not be happy right now, is nothing but a story that your ego is telling you. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't things that you might feel extreme pain and grief and sadness over. I lost my sister last year, and I will forever be anguishing about the loss of my sister. So I'm not saying to not have emotions. There are certain things that are going to elicit emotions. But I am talking about the ego's proclivity to holding on to things it doesn't need to hold on to, purely for the sake that it separates you from your wholeness. Your ego, your little self, your small self, it loves to separate you from your wholeness because that keeps all those little patterns alive. And the ego really thrives off of patterns. The ego is just a set of patterns. So anything that you are believing that gives you a reason to feel less than joyful and peaceful in this moment. For instance, I was bullied when I was a kid. My parents were terrible. The divorce that I went through 5 years ago. I could sit here and do this for an hour probably. I'm not going to do this for an hour, but there's a long list of grievances that the ego will always have. There's an endless list of things from your past that your ego could bring into the present moment that just the only thing that it does is it keeps the past here, the illusion of the past. So very important, like I started the video with, there's only the illusion of the past. The past does not exist. You cannot show me the past. You cannot hand it to me. You cannot prove that it's real. As far as this present moment is concerned, it doesn't exist. Period. If you want to be happy, if you want to be joyful, if you want to be peaceful, if you want to be abundant, if you want to have healthy relationships, if you want to be the best version of you that you could possibly be, if you want to be more effective, if you want to be more productive, if you want to be more anything, all of the virtues, all of the goodness, all of the sweetness, all of the joy, all of the exuberance of life, it can only really happen if you let go of the past. And by let go of the past, I mean let go of your illusion of the past. Let go of holding on to this illusory thing that you're just basically, it's a voluntary kind of holding spot in your mind's eye that's just completely blocking your ability to just be you. And that's ultimately what I mean by letting go of the past. To let go of the past means to be totally and fully you in this moment. A quick example of this is my own story of I was living a lot of my adult life from my past, from pain, from trauma, from societal expectations, from relationship chaos, from a lot of these things. It was like the past was building up one stack after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other, until eventually it broke me wide open to the spiritual awakening, until I got to so much suffering that I couldn't stand it anymore. And I realized, oh my God, this is not me. None of it, not a single brick of this nonsense has anything to do with me now in this moment. So I experienced what it would feel like. Just what would it feel like if I completely let go of all the stories? If I let go of the childhood trauma, if I let go of the stories of my childhood, the stories of relationship drama, the stories of he did this, and the stories of why didn't I do that, and the stories and the stories and the stories and the stories that were just going on and on in my mind. And they're in the background, by the way. It's not like so overt. It's not like the most obvious. Sometimes it's hiding in the background there. So to let go of the past is a simple act of, number one, you have to choose peace. You have to choose peace over everything else. Another way to put this is you have to choose love over everything else. Love and peace are kind of synonymous for me. So you have to choose peace, you have to choose love over everything else. Do you or do you not want to be peaceful? Do you or do you not want to feel love in your heart? Do you or do you not want to experience what it's like, what all the great masters and teachers have talked about, what Jesus Christ and the Buddha and Eckhart Tolle and Thich Nhat Hanh and Ram Dass and Maharishi and all the great teachers, all of them. Do you or do you not want to experience? Are you or are you not curious about what could it possibly be like to be joyful? What could it possibly be like to be free from the past? What could it possibly be like to just walk around and see the love in another human being in just a split second? So do you or do you not want to experience that? That's step one, is choosing peace. When I got to the worst part of my human suffering, when I was experiencing myself mostly as a sad, poor little me, more than the soul of who and what I am, I came to the realization that I no longer want to suffer this way. I'm done with this. I can't. That was a spiritual awakening where I literally couldn't suffer anymore. I couldn't go any lower. I couldn't go any more miserable. And I had to choose peace. So that's step one of letting go of the past. You have to choose peace. That snaps you out of it. It snaps you right out of it, because you realize when you say, okay, I choose peace. Peace is my number one priority. It makes it really clear how insane the other option is. Could you keep complaining about the divorce you had 5 years ago? Could you keep talking about what a narcissist that person is? Could you keep finding fault and blame and all the terrible things that they did? Of course. Yes. But don't you want to let it go? Wouldn't it be nice to just let it go and live your life and be joyful? Wouldn't it be nice to just let go of the unhealthy, toxic parents that might have raised you, and just lovingly let it go and just give it to the river and let the river take it? Wouldn't it be nice to let go of the schoolmates that bullied you, and you forgive them with your whole heart, completely and totally? And even if you don't forgive them, if you want to hold the big fat grudge, that's fine too. But can you let go of the story? Can you let go of what it means to you? Can you just let it go? Can you give it to the river? Can you give it to the river, that story that you're telling yourself that when you were 20, you were in perfect shape? Oh, I was in such great shape and now I'm not. Can you just let that go? Can you just let go of the past? What I'm saying is step two is elect to stop giving excuses and holding off your joy, period. 99% of the time when we're holding off on joy, it's either something that we're holding off because we want to wait for some future horizon, or something from the past that's coming into the present moment. And many times it's a confluence of both. But today, I'm going to address just carrying stuff from your past into the present moment. Carrying your past into the present moment creeps into all that negative self-talk, all of that I should and I shouldn't, all of that, all of the excuses of why you're not doing something. I'm not good enough, I'm not this enough, I'm not that enough. Step 3 is asking if I was just born today, if I just was born today and I had no reference of the past, and I had no stories, and I had no baggage, and I had no gripes, and I had no judgments, what kind of life would I be living today? If I was completely free of the past, what kind of life would I be living today? What would I be pursuing? What would I try? What would be really cool to try today? What would be cool to wear today? What would be cool to talk about today? What would be cool to pursue today? If I was completely free of the past, what would I do? This is why a lot of people who have a spiritual awakening, they have a whole different name. They choose a whole different name because they're just letting go of all of it. They're just letting go of so much of the past, of all of it. So you don't have to change your name to do that. You just come to being reborn every moment that you're alive is a chance to be completely reborn, a fresh new moment. It's one of the most exciting things hidden in plain sight that people just, it's so easy to miss. And a simple practice, which is what we're gonna finish up with, a simple practice, I'd like to offer you a real-time practice of, can you come to the present moment now? In this present moment, right here and now? And can you just be as you are? And anything that's coming up, anything that's been blocking your joy, can you let that be here wholly and completely? Let the story be here. Don't touch it. Don't hold on to it. Let's not get our hands in there. Just leave your hands off of it. Let the story or whatever the excuse is or the pain or whatever it is, just let it sit here for a minute. It's fine to let it sit here. Just let it be here for a minute. You don't even have to close your eyes. Sometimes I do close my eyes, but just let it be here for a minute. Whatever the story is, whatever the energy is, whatever the pain is. And now, could you just let it go? Could you let it go? Would you be willing to let this go just for now, just to see how it feels? Just ask yourself honestly, could I let this go? And even if the answer is no, you notice there's a space there that opens up where there's a possibility, and it makes your heart beat a little fast. Wait a minute, I do have a choice here. I have complete and total agency over the fact that I could let some of this go. Even if it's just a little bit right now, you could let some of it go. And then by the by, keep doing that. Am I willing to let this be here? Whatever this is, whatever it is. That divorce, that family drama, that chaos, the state of the world. Can I let my resistance to it be here? Can I just let this happen right now? Can I just let this be here? The painful memories, the sadness, the grief, can I let it be here? And then, can I let it go? Am I willing to open my arms to the whole thing and just say, you're allowed to leave. I don't have to hold on to this anymore. I don't have to spend another minute of my life holding on to this, reliving it, judging it, making it wrong, making it right, regretting it, being angry over it, whatever. I'm willing to let this go and move the hell on with my life. I'm willing to let this go because it's not doing literally anything to hold on to it. Nothing. It's not giving you any resolution. It's not getting you progress. It's not changing anything. It's not growing you. It's not expanding you. It's not adding money to your bank account. It's not doing anything besides bringing the past into the present moment where it has no business being. So let go of all of it, every ounce of it. Anything that doesn't serve you in this present moment, that's from your past, has no business being here, and you can let it go. If he cheated, let it go. Get him out of your life and let it go. If they fired you, let it go. It's got no business in the present moment. You have a new and better job on the way. If you had a health crisis, or you're going through a health crisis, which is always not pleasant. I've gone through my own share of health crises. We can let go of the past and what it meant to have a health crisis. In the past, the health crisis equated to something, a bunch of stuff, hospital visits and all the stories that came with it. But we can let go of the story. We can let go of the past. Let go of the past, let go of the past, let go of the past. We can bring ourselves to this present moment with a sense of dignity that is untouchable by anything that's happened in the past. Having so much dignity in the present moment, saying, as a divine, perfect, and whole human being, emphasis on the being, I am not touched by anything in the past because the past is not here now. And anything that maybe is happening now as a repercussion of something I did in the past, it is being healed now in the present moment as I am totally here now and completely free of the past. I do not need to relive my past pain to heal it. I can just arrive here now and notice that I am completely free of the past. I'd like to end today's session with a little bit on nervous system regulation and why I love yoga. There is, in fact, a nervous system aspect to all of this stuff. And if, as children, we were in environments that may be a little bit unsafe or a lot unsafe or a little bit chaotic or a lot chaotic, or maybe our adulthood has a lot of stress and chaos in it, yoga can train the nervous system to be calm and to be centered and to be peaceful. So if after that little exercise of releasing did not it's enough. Like I'm 99% positive that is enough to get anybody to liberation from the past, is to consciously choose to let go of the past and come into the present moment. I know that it's enough because that's all there is. Because we are all literally, that is inherent in our abilities. However, if you are still resisting that letting go, and you're still having a little bit of a hard time fully releasing, I highly recommend you get to yoga. Going to an actual class in person, being surrounded by that beautiful energy can be very healing to the body. I'm going to close today's session by letting you know I have a whole suite of courses, and one that would be really helpful for this kind of thing is the Master Your Mind course. That's a 30-day intensive that guides you through a mindfulness state of being and brings you to the present moment, here and now, constantly. And it's a way to help you to release and let go of unhealthy mental patterns. So if you'd like to check that out, it's at brendaturner.com/shop. There's also some other courses and programs available at brendaturner.com/shop. Also, I've got a whole bunch of tools and resources on brendaturner.com, so you can check out my website for more information. Let's all let go of the past as we're at the end of the year now, so it's apropos to let go. So let's all collectively let go of the past and step into something so much better. It's unimaginable how good your life can get when you let go of the past. So I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye, everybody.